So you're an editor working in DaVinci Resolve and you're still confused with color management. If that's you, then I'm going to address that in this episode. Now, I've done episodes before where I've explained color management, but I've always been slightly biased towards people who want to exceed in their color grading. And I realized that not everyone wants to be in the color page. So as a broadcast professional colorist, I live in that color page. But when I'm in Fusion or Fairlight, I'm completely out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to do the same as if you're an editor that doesn't want to go in the color page, but still wants good color management. And it really is that simple. Now, if you've come over from Premiere or Final Cut, a lot of that work is being done for you in the background, and Resolve can behave in exactly the same way. I think it's been overcomplicated with lots of videos, including from myself, where we've done a CST at the beginning and gone to DaVinci wide gamut and all this sort of stuff, and it confuses people. You don't actually have to work that way. Now, I will add to that if you are a professional colorist or you're a want-to-be colorist, this episode is not for you either, because I'm focusing on people who just want to edit and get good looking images without worrying about what's actually happening. So if that's you, let's go and take a look. So we're in the edit page, and I've been building up this montage quite happily with no knowledge of color management at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I've just taken my clips off the camera card and I've just started throwing them down in some nice coherent order. So what we want to do now is make sure our images are looking correct. So there's a couple of images in here, for example, this one that looks very flat. Okay, there's another one here. This just doesn't look quite right. It's very flat. So this is because of color management. Now, when you're working with color management, or when you're dealing with color management, you need to know what it's going to be, the end result first. So where is it going to? And this is going to go to Rec 709. I want this to go on YouTube. I want it to look all right on a computer. I want it to look all right on a TV. And that is Rec 709. It's a display color space. By default, DaVinci Resolve is working in Rec 709. By default in Premiere, it's working in Rec 709. Final Cut, Rec 709. Okay, these are default behaviors. So I don't have to worry about the output because it's default. What I do need to worry about is that the source footage is being interpreted correctly, and it's really simple to do. And there's a lot of tutorials out there that have overcomplicated this because it can get as complex as you want. If you want to really work with color science and you want to start using some advanced effects and things like that, you do need to understand it a bit better than I'm going to show you in this episode. But where is all this happening? What's going on? Now, Adobe has a setting for this as well, and I can't show you Premiere, unfortunately, because I deleted my whole Adobe Cloud Suite about 3 years ago. I've only used DaVinci Resolve. So let's open up the main project settings and go down to color management. By default, the color science is DaVinci YRGB. This means we need to work the color management a little bit harder. However, there is an automatic option. So click in here, DaVinci YRGB color managed. This, as you can see here, is checked now as automatic color management. I'm done. All I've got to do is say what my output color space is, and we've decided that we're going to work in Rec 709. The majority of displays are Rec 709. Unless you're working in HDR, you're going to be working in 709. That's all you need to know. That has now set the DaVinci color management to output in Rec 709. The only thing we have to do now is adjust some of our inputs, because if I've recorded in log, so I might have shot in S-Log3 on my Sony camera, I just need to tell Resolve that it's S-Log3, and I'm going to show you how to do that next step now. However, if you've shot in Rec 709, so you haven't shot in a log profile, you might have just shot with your phone, you don't have to do anything. You just bring the clips in now and work. That's it. That's all you've got to do. So I hope that first step has demystified it. We are now in color management. So back onto our timeline, and we've got a mixture of formats going on here. So I could go through each clip and say, this one is Arri, this one is Sony, this one is Canon, this one is whatever it is. But there's an easier way of doing it than that. Okay. For example, this clip here is actually Apple log. This is shot using the Blackmagic camera app on my phone, and I've recorded it in Apple log. Resolve doesn't know that it's Apple log yet, so I need to tell it. But I don't want to go through every single clip. You might have 200 clips down here. I don't want to tell every single clip what its source was. So we're going to do it at source level. So every editor at some point needs royalty-free music, and I'm pleased to say that Audiio have very kindly sponsored this section. So just before I show you the next stage of color management, I want to explain to you why I use Audiio. So I've been using Audiio Pro for years now on my YouTube videos and on my production work. So I'm in my Audiio Pro account, and this has given me unlimited access to thousands of high quality tracks made by real composers and real artists. None of this is AI generated. However, there are some fantastic AI tools in here to help you select the right track. So the first AI tool you have is Hands AI. This allows you to type in exactly what you're thinking and it will come up with suitable tracks from this huge catalogue. Now, if that's not good enough, what you can do is think of a song that you like but maybe is not royalty free, take a link from it from Spotify or YouTube, post that into LinkMatch AI and it will do the same thing. It will come up with tracks that are very similar. So not only do you get access to all this quality music, but you also get all the stems. So you can do your own mixes and there's a full sound effects library as well. There's also a handy app that's linked to your account, so you can listen to music on the move and just mark your favourites as you hear them. If you want to get access to Audiio Pro for just $59 for the first year, that's a saving of 70%. Click the link in the description, add the code, and you'll also be supporting my channel. Let's get back to the main video. So we've got the automatic color management on. We now know that we're outputting in Rec 709, which is what we want to do. We've just got to tell Resolve what each of the source footage is. So the easiest way to do that, go to the media pool. Here's the folder that I'm working in, it's called Brighton, and I've got a card here with all my DJI footage in it. I've got a card here with my Sony S-Log3 footage in it, and I've got my iPhone footage as well in here. So let's start off with the iPhone footage. So this was all shot using the Blackmagic camera app, and I shot it Apple log. So all I've got to do is highlight all the clips in here, right click, and I've got this thing called input color space. Now this only appears because I'm in automatic color management. I'm going to go to here, go to Apple. I'm going to select Apple log and the image changes straight away. This is now telling Resolve this is Apple log to start with, and I'm going to display it Rec 709. That's color managed. That's it. That's all it is. So every time that appears in my edit, it will now have the correct color profile on it. Where is that shot? It's here. Okay, so it looks much better than it did a minute ago. Let's do the same with the other camera cards. So let's go to card 1. Card 1 is actually DJI. Now it's Pocket 3. And with Pocket 3, you can choose Standard, which is just Rec 709. So you don't have to actually do anything. Any footage that's Rec 709 is color managed. You don't have to do anything. It's Rec 709 going to Rec 709. It just is. The DJI Pocket 3 allows me to work in D-log M as well, and HLG. So I chose D-log M, which is a slightly flatter profile, but it's still Rec 709. However, there's a LUT from DJI that you can download for free, install it in the LUT folder. I've done a whole episode on that. I'll put a link to that in the description. And it just gives it a bit of a better profile. So this is like the first bit of color management we're going to do. So let's have a look at one of the shots here. If I highlight them all, I can do this globally. So I'm going to right hand click on them. This is not an input color space. The input color space in here is DJI D-gamut D-log. This is not what we want. It's not D-log. It's actually, even though it's called D-log M, it's actually Rec 709, but we can put a LUT on it. So if I go to DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to Rec 709 and click on that, you see that my images are actually just a slight bit punchier than they were a minute ago. So it's just taking my D-log M profile and just giving it the right amount of contrast and saturation to make it look even better. So now in my timeline, all the shots that are D-log M, which is a majority of them, look okay. This has got no grade on it. It looks great. So moving on to the last card, this footage is S-Log3, so it's a very flat profile. If you have a look at these images, unfortunately they're slightly overexposed as well, but this is all S-Log3. So I just need to tell Resolve that it's S-Log3. I'm going to highlight all the clips, right hand click. Now if I have the color space for it, the correct color space, I prefer to do that than use a LUT. So let's go down here and choose Sony. I'm going to S-Log3, which is the one it is, and you see straight away this image looks better. I did slightly overexpose this, as I mentioned. Now let's go back to the edit, and it's done. We're looking really good. Everything's in its right color space. All the color management's been done. So if you're enjoying this sort of content, let me know and let YouTube know by subscribing, hit the like button, and drop me a comment of anything else you want to see. I read all of the comments. So let's imagine you did want to do a little bit of color grading on this. You just want to do a simple bit of contrast and saturation, but you don't want to know how nodes work and all that stuff. In Adobe, all you do is you go to the color menu, open it, Lumetri would open by default, and you just pull the contrast slider and saturation. To do the same in Resolve, it's really easy. Instead of going to the color menu, you go to the color icon. And this, all these pages are talking to each other all the time. So that edit here is displayed in the color page as a timeline here. There's the shot that I was on in the edit page. And if I want to do basic things, let's just do, so down here, for example, you've got contrast. I can just increase contrast. I don't need to know how these nodes work. I don't need to understand any of this. Let's add a bit of saturation. So saturation's here, something like that. And I'm done. That's it. Simple. Go back to the edit page and it's done. Now, obviously you can go much deeper than that. Resolve has an amazing, fantastic color grading section, but I'm keeping this simple. This is just for editors. So that's done. We can press output now and that's ready to go. So let's go and have a look at another edit, and I want to show you a little bit more on the color management side. So I'm going to click in here. This is an extract from an edit I did a few years ago, and this was all shot on Arri using log C3. So it's log footage, so it looks flat. We've already told Resolve that we're outputting Rec 709, so it just needs to know that it's Arri. So to do that, we can go up to, in fact, the media pool can be displayed in the edit page. You don't need to click on the media pool. You can do it from the edit page up here. You just click here where it says media pool. There's the Arri folder. I'm going to right hand click. I'm going to say input color space, Arri, log C3. And straight away, this image has come to life. So it now knows it's Arri log C3 and it's displaying it correctly as it should have been when it was filmed. This is what it looked like. So this is great. This doesn't really need color correction. I would like to do a little bit on it, but it's good to go. However, I've got some more shots on here. These are red. This is red raw, and this is shot log as well. And this is Blackmagic RAW, and this is shot log as well. So why are these already looking good? They don't look flat or log. And that's because the metadata that comes with this clip, because it's raw, is telling DaVinci Resolve that it was shot on a red camera, okay, with a certain log profile. If I switch away from automatic color management, back to the regular one, it loses that information, okay? It doesn't recognize that you want to color manage it. So I'm gonna go back, go to automatic color management, press save, and straight away it recognizes that it's red and gives me the right profile. The same with the Blackmagic RAW. So if you're shooting RAW, the metadata will do the color management for you, so you don't need to do a thing. So now if I wanted to do a little bit of grade on here, I don't need to understand how nodes work, just go straight to the color page. The shot that you're on is the shot that will be graded, and then I can move something, maybe I just want to move, the offset will move everything, so I just want to cool it off a little bit. Let's just pull that down there, something like that, give it a bit more contrast, and you're done. So I hope that's helped a lot of you editors out there understand that color management doesn't have to be complicated. You didn't see me build a node tree. I only went into the color page just to show you how to do basic contrast and saturation. You don't need CSTs, you don't need DLTs. All these buzzwords are for people who want to take it a bit more serious. And if that's you, I've got tons of videos on how to do color grading right up to advanced level. I'll put a link to some in the description. Thanks again to Audiio for sponsoring this episode. Look after yourselves, enjoy editing in DaVinci Resolve, and I'll see you in the next episode.